Hi friends, so today I'll cover step 7 and 8 for the SRA. I've covered already 1 to 6 steps. You can check my previous videos. And in that 7th step, let me brief you about the what you have to do in 7th step. You have to do the detailed vulnerability assessment and you have to evaluate your risk also. So you have to rate this assessment from 1 to 5 as per the criticality. Let me brief you about the what is the format you can refer, and as per that you can develop your this assessment. The first one, that you have to consider any event type, and that event type, I'll give you example like a damage to property. You can consider the damage to property. Then you have to categorize, you have to mention what is the threat actor. So like let's take example of mob attack. Now you have the event type is the damage to property, this is your threat actor mob attack. Then you have to mention what is the event type. Like event type is like it is a internal, external, or combination of both. Then you have to mention the scenario, like there is a scenario like something, some any incident triggered up and then the mob is gathered at your gatehouse area. Now you have to mention the consequences. Now mob is at your assembly near your gatehouse area, and the scenario will be that now mob in the action case, and due to trigger event now they are agitated and now they are attacking, and the scenario will be that the consequences will be like it can lead to damage to property, it can lead to injury, it can lead to vandalism. Lot of things can be happened over there due to this trigger event. Now you have to mention the existing controls. What controls you have? Suppose the mob attack will take place at your side, but you from your front gatehouse of area. What control measures you have? And you have to list down all these control measures and then check, is it enough or you require more control measures. And then after mentioning all these existing control measures, now you'll do some basic calculation. What is the basic calculation? Then you have to mention, first you have to mention the vulnerability rating. So as per your existing controls, if I'll talk about like mob attack, you whatever basic requirement is for you handling your mob attack as per the best practice, as per the recommended controls, do you have all these control measures at your gate or not? If not, then as per that you have to check the vulnerability, what are the total gaps you have, and as per that you will rate this vulnerability from 1 to 5. If you have 60%, suppose you have 60% control measure as per the scenario, then you can consider 3. If you have 80%, then you can consider 2, 1. And if you have only 20% control measure outside, then you have to consider rating 4 or 5. So you have to check that standard reference, and then as per that you can give that rating. Once you have mentioned the vulnerability, then you have to do the calculation. You have to mention the what we have already done about the threat rating. You have to rate the threat assessment. During the threat assessment, you have to give the rating. So you have to mention the vulnerability, then threat assessment, then you have to mention the asset attractiveness, and then you have to calculate the L. And L is equal to L1 and L2. L1 stand for threat into attractiveness of the asset, and L2 equal to vulnerability. So you will multiply L1 and L2, which will give you L, and that L is will be your calculation. Suppose you get L2. Now you will mention the what is the critical, the first point, the first step, that when we do the categorize the asset, we mention the what is the criticality of the asset as per the dependency, as per its function, and as per its interdependency. So you'll multiply your C1, which we call it criticality of asset, and your calculated L. So that L into C1 will give you the R1, which we call it proposed control measures rating. So suppose the R1 is 8, suppose L was 2 and C1 was 4, so the R1 will be 4 into 2, that will be your 8. So then in your matrix, in your calculation, you mention the 8. Now you will mention the proposed control measures. So suppose global standard says for your gatehouse there is a requirement of 10 control measures, but right now you have only 6 control measures, so you have to mention these 4 additional control measures. Like suppose you don't have right now any PA system over there, considering this scenario you have to deploy PA system, you have to deploy a QRT, you have to deploy standby team, you have to deploy complete lockdown system if immediately it is required to cover the complete gate or shutter the complete pathway, so that there will be mob will not able to enter in your premises, and you can immediately neutralize and can interrupt these people at the gate only and the first line of defense only. So this is your 7-step activities. Now we'll come to the heat map. So whatever activities we have done, now we can develop of the heat map, which will give us the risk matrix, and we'll develop the risk matrix 5 by 5. And whatever we have done in this 1 to 7 steps, it will help us to develop the heat map. So let me show you the tell you about this heat map. So heat map we consider 5 to 5. So you have to develop the impact and the likelihood. So suppose I'll mention the rating for the impact 1 to 5 and for likelihood also 1 to 5. So as per our calculation, we have calculated that. Now we'll mention the impact, which we already mentioned about the L1, C1, the criticality of the asset. So that left side you will mention the criticality of asset as per the rating C1, and the other side likelihood you have to mention the what was the L, and as per that you will develop the graph. I'll just quickly show you a basic example like this one, so that you can develop this matrix, okay, likelihood and impact. And this is like a charter, like as per this you can mention that it is a like a low, high or very high. So as per that you can mention this rating. So suppose your risk calculation, likelihood and criticality in that XY graph, you have to mention that, and at the particular stage, if it's come to like 3, your likelihood says that it is 3 and your impact say it is 4. So 4th is a 12. So 12 will be your rating category, and as we mentioned, the very low will be risk will be like very high will be 25 to 20 to 25, and very low will be 1 to 5. So as per suppose now rating is like 12, so you have to check the rate. 12 will come under your medium criticality and medium risk matrix. So risk rating will be medium, like 10 to 15 category medium, and the rating is 12. So we will mention the 12, and we'll give that color code also. So like we have mentioned the color code also for, like you can mention very high will be red, high will be amber, then medium will you can consider yellow, then L you can consider lighter green, and very low you can consider dark green. And as per that you can mention this in your risk matrix also. So this is the complete exercise of SRA process. As per the confidentiality, I cannot share all these metrics and documents, but somehow I try to brief you about that. What is the complete process step by step? Even you can check the YouTube or any Google where you can find a 5 by 5 metrics, and it will give you a brief idea about how you can develop this matrix. Even the same thing is done by the safety team also. They also consider the 5 by 5 metrics, and as per that they develop their complete this hazard matrix. So as we do the security assessment, they also do the hazard assessment, and you can check that 5 by 5 matrix. It will give you a clear idea about how you can develop that thing. So this was the complete SRA process as per the API standard. I hope it will help you to conduct your SRA and give you basic idea how you can conduct the SRA. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.